Let's now go across to Amisha Vora. She's with us talking about the market. Amisha, what do you make of the entire market flow, the sort of up move that we have seen? You think markets just needed a reason to correct, and that's why we are seeing some profit booking?
I think of course, we are sitting on a strong rally which came in Indian market. B, there is a change in the interpretation of Fed's outlook post-Friday's event, I guess, and then the example that they set now makes it very clear that they're going to chase inflation till it really dies, with all the collateral damage that it might have in the meantime. And lastly, I think the European situation, as we know, will throw some surprises in terms of it's not just the high energy prices, but high energy prices will have its impact on supply chain, production, costs, and prices of final product. So once again, we are in that same uncertainties which were being which have been behind manufacturing globally for last almost year and a half. Having said that, I think that we are fortunately as Indian economy still amongst the major economies, least impacted economies. So our outperformance to some extent should continue is what my view is.
Right. Good afternoon, Amisha. There's Cheryl also joining in the conversation. Like you said, that our outperformance compared to the global market should continue from here on. Do you see Nifty Bank also outperforming the benchmark indices in particular? Because in the last few trading sessions, we've definitely seen the PSU banks trying to make that cut. Do you see that sustaining going ahead?
In the absolute short term, maybe not, because I think at least it will have the overall global outlook will have its impact both on the currency as well as on the bond yields. And the little sigh of relief that some of these banks, in terms of their price performance, were showing was also under the assumption of peaking bond yields, and so the end of treasury loss and such assumption. I think that will elongate. So in the absolute short term, I don't think it will outperform. But if you ask me in the medium term, as our outlook on India, credit growth, bank's balance sheet continues to remain very robust, it will.
Right. So how should one approach this market? So everything that you've just spoken about, Amisha ma'am, has been all about global. So should one stick to domestic stocks or domestic linked stocks and avoid global stocks? Should that be the sort of theme?
Absolutely, yeah, because our core internal demand, that's what I said, India is the least impacted economy. And if you see in terms of our domestic demand, it continues to be very resilient. And now we are heading into the festive quarter. So I feel domestic consumption related stocks, I may take a few representative names, but there could be many, like Crompton Consumers and but all these will somewhere or other where they get impacted because of supply chain, one needs to see. And the manufacturing sector, I think some of these will continue to do very well, as good. So domestic consumption is a shielded space comparatively, and we are doing pretty okay in that.
Right. Amisha, like you mentioned, domestic consumption sector should do well. Among those domestic consumption names, which one are you preferring? Is it from the auto pack or is it the consumers?
Yeah, I think auto pack, we have pretty bullish on Mahindra, Ashok Leyland, and any corrections in these names during these market corrections should be definitely looked at. And if I see in consumption, as I said, Crompton Consumer is definitely one which is good. And there is many more names, but because of our coverage we may be restricted to talk about a few. And third space, I say it is manufacturing, which is really shaping up well. So that is also the space where one should continue to keep portfolio focus on.
All right, Amisha, thanks so much for taking out time for us. Always good to get perspective, and thank you for agreeing at a short notice. That was Amisha Vora saying that the theme should be on the domestic side. She mentioned a few sectors as well and stocks which they are focusing in on. On that note, we're taking our break.